final station is called building an argument. And it's a longer station, so instead of being able to go to 2 tasks per day, if that cohort is going to build in an argument, they stay at the task for 50 minutes instead of 25 minutes and rotate into 2. The reason why is because it is a lot of work, but they love it. It starts off with the question. It's always going to be a yes or no or an interpretive question. This question I came up with from the folktale. I didn't use the G and Great Books question because it wasn't an interpretive question. So I say, considering everything that Cato gained and lost because of his decision to build the wall, was it worth it? And so this question is kind of like allowing the kids to culminate everything that we've been talking about, from the gallery walk to all the other TBTs, into one final TBT. They can either say, yes, it was worth it, and some do say yes, or they can say, no, it was not worth it. What's interesting is that you have to work with the cohort as a whole. So all 6 people, or 5 to 6 people that are in one cohort, they have to agree upon what their argument is going to be. It has to be either yes or no. There's no kind of, sort of, maybe, both. It's yes or no. And so a lot of times the kids waste time, which I've built into this task, going back and forth whether it's yes or no. Once they get yes or no, that's their argument. So their argument, for instance, would be yes, it was worth it, or no, it was not worth it. What they have to do is find supporting evidence from source 1 that I've put in here. So much like all of the other ones, especially Rank It, I've taken quotes or excerpts directly from the text. And some of them support, that are valid pieces of evidence for their argument, and some of them contradict. And so what they have to do is figure out which pieces of evidence supports their argument, which pieces of evidence goes against their argument, and which pieces of evidence are completely irrelevant from the text. Once they've done all of that, they have to do source 2, which is usually a secondary source. It's not the primary source like the text. For this one, for this time building an argument, I didn't pair the text with anything like another folktale. But what I did was I got words from the text that were used, and I gave the definitions. So the secondary source is the dictionary, or source 2 is the dictionary. And so they had to choose words and their word meanings that would help support their argument. For instance, if they said that it was not worth him building a wall, it would be using words such as lordly or elegant. So he wasted all his money on an elegant structure only to die in the end. Or he was too lordly and it ruined his, I guess, reputation. You know, and someone against them might say, yeah, it was worth it because he gained humility in the end. Humility means this, and examples in the text that show humility is this. Also, I have other things like the theme of the folk tale. I didn't put the definition of theme on here because they know what theme is what we've been covering since Monday with this text. But the theme of the folk tale would support that, no, it was not worth building the wall. But the author's tone in certain points will contradict that. And so they have to have this conversation with their cohort to figure out where all of the evidence goes from source 1 and source 2, whether it's contradicting or irrelevant. Once they are done with that, there is a sheet that looks exactly like the map, in which they transfer all of this information at the end. So of course at the beginning they've already typed in a question in their cohort's argument, and then they are transferring that information from the map to here, their valid evidence, source 1, source 2, contradicting evidence, and irrelevant. And then here is where I get the biggest bang for my buck. I get to have them write an argumentative or an opinion essay from this at the end, which is what they should be able to do in about 25 minutes, because they have all of the hard work at the top. They can just restate the question, their argument, and the reasons why. And then body paragraph 1, which is their main idea and details. Body paragraph number 2, which is their counterclaim paragraph, which we start, I think, in about 6th grade, were counterclaims, and a conclusion statement. And so that is building an argument in a nutshell, but it is great because you get to build in writing, Common Core, map, all those great things, especially map with the dictionary entries. Oh, so yeah, that's it.